There we go.
All right. Giving everybody a moment to pick up that anticipation. Just take it all in. Just hang on to it for a moment while we see what happens here.
Palom and Yang with a... Wait, what?
What? Man, we're going to be here for like 10 minutes, Poitrak. We've got a Darkness Crystal right off the bat.
Yeah, shall we just tell them what to expect now? Basically, that they're going to find a few characters and then just go and win the game?
I mean, there is a chance that a runner will just go and gamble and see if there's 2 free bosses in the giant. It almost never happens, but this might be the kind of thing where you like item sweep for like... Since it's S3, that hasn't changed very much. The shops have good stuff in them in terms of items. Like coffins, you go maybe shop sweep for coffins, hourglasses, and maybe try and just get a freebie. Distinctly possible, accepting the fact that your team will probably get one shot pretty badly. But
well, Palom's just got his best rod in the game already. There's a white mage in Baron Inn, and a crystal sword. Yeah,
but there's only one problem with that. Is that talking about that free boss gamble? That free boss is off the table because the first boss there was the King and Queen of Evelyn. But yes, Get Coop, we are in V2. This is a giant seed tonight, and we already have our Darkness Crystals, so we're going fast, I think.
Oh, very fast. And, well, Sawney's going straight for it, just having a gamble at that second boss, I suppose.
Sonirath is also taking a bit of a risk by dropping right in on the King and Queen of Evelyn for that free boss first, in hopes of maybe catching something that he can kill as the second boss. Which would be real interesting to see as well in regards to what's going on as we get our streams all synced up for everybody.
Chocosaur was getting the Lunar Well available straight away, so he doesn't have to sit through that cutscene later. And is he going straight up?
Yeah, he has taken the gamble. If he saw the boss in Baron Inn, he might not be doing this, though. Like, he might decide against it. Sonny gets cooked by the King of Evelyn, though. Fire 2 hits hard in that spot. That spot's somehow got great magic attack because the guards.
Yeah, they have a high magic stat because their spells need to hit. So, Piggy and Mute, I believe it is.
Yeah,
Piggy and Minnie.
Piggy and Minnie. Which they need to land, and since status effects have a garbage chance of landing, their magic status through them. For approximately 3 ducks, what is Giant Seed? The win condition for this run is not kill Zeromus. The win condition is get the Darkness Crystal, which our runners already have, and go kill the 2 bosses, the first one having, about 60,000 hit points here, and the second boss, which is a little bit easier, in the Giant of Babel. When you finish the second boss, you get the crack boom, it's beautiful, and you win.
Yeah. And Chocosaur is going to have a big gamble and just find out who the boss is. He may be just doing this to test to see what he actually needs
Also
to
true.
Get through this. It's a lunar boss, so this could be painful for him straight up.
Yep, and it looks like Simbu is our first character finder, went up on the mountain and grabbed Rydia, and the boss here is Wyvern.
That's going to take a little bit to get through.
Yeah, good news for our runners, though. The Wyvern flag is on, so nothing to worry about there in regards to getting Mega Nuked. Because that could be frightening, but still, this could be problematic. Chogasura knows that there's a problem there, too. Simbu is just going to start us rod down the Dark Elf, while Natara is going to start us rod down the King Queen of Evelyn. And much like Sonny is going to find Rubicon right behind, but Palom will have just learned Ice 2.
Yeah, and you might notice a few differences in the battle screens, because a few characters are slightly different colour. That is the Fab flag. Scarlet Kitty, our resident amazing person of anything sprite-like, has created 4 additional different sprites of different colours for every single character that you can pick up in the game. They are all amazing, and I would really suggest checking out Seeds just for that, if nothing else.
Yeah, the artwork is pretty fantastic, honestly. Chogasura still went up to the moon anyway, went ahead and grabbed Kane for his troubles. And is going to check the shop up here. Simbu with a very standard start, just going right down the line, right when grabbed the character at Mount Hobbs. So Hazri and the party is going to go over to Castle Fabul for the free heal and the boss here. So looking for more key items. It's going to find Dark Knight Cecil here.
Yeah, so that should be fairly simple. He hits a little bit hard, but nothing that Yarn can't stand up to at this point in time.
Yep, the two mages are going to get dropped like rocks, but that's all right, because it's going to stand up just fine. Natara also getting loose on that sort of standard plan of looting now after getting obliterated by Rubicon. Glare hits real hard no matter where you are in the game, and is now up here going to grab Radia.
I fully expect that one of the biggest turning points for our runners will be to find one of our sages, either Fusoya or Tella, because that will enable them to go up and do a D machine grind and then just finish up this seed right quick, really, because that will give them a lot of experience and should get them through the Wyvern fight and what's beyond.
Yeah, the major issue with that, of course, is that for Tella, you need to climb up Mount Ordeals, which is not honestly that big of a deal. It's just 3 bosses, but it can be a little time-consuming. But chopping up, like, the level 2 casting items will help you a ton. You've got a Stardust Rod already, so probably nothing that can stop you up there. And then for Fusoya, you've got to kill enough bosses to get the weak spell in the first place. And we don't know how many that's going to be, because his spell list is given to you randomly over time.
Yeah. There are no blocks though, so he is pretty much in the same random capacity as any other character, so he can appear at some point. It's just a matter of finding him.
Yeah, well, we know he's not at the moon. We know he's not in one of the 2 easy overworld spots, so it's going to be a little bit here as Chogasura is stocking up, grabs a couple of exits, some Cure 3s. Looks like the shop at Kaipo? No, it's the shop in Baron.
And Sony Rath's in the shop in Troyes, probably just having a look and seeing cabins are very nice to see. You shouldn't need too many of those, because we're just looking for ways to finish it up, but they're always nice to see. And Hourglass ones are always nice as well.
DM Stewart, so for a new Free Enterprise player, the usual is, right, our win condition is go find the crystal, go find a party, go find the gear, we need to go kill Zeromus up on the moon. That is pretty standard. That's the V flag. If there is no V flag, that is basically the standard. So the standard way to start is, you do the overworld first. You go across the top side. You do some town looting, but then you hit up Antlion Cave. You hit up Mount Hobbs, and you hit up Fabul as your first 3 choices, because those are the easiest spots to take on. With the wide array of items and magic skills that these characters have available to them, with the high shop value and the high treasure value, we can do a lot of different things, and it's always interesting to see if those pay off or not.
Yeah, just saw Tiara and Rune Rings in the shop in Silveria there. Both of those are fairly powerful items for defense, so they... Tiaras are usually only found on S3. They can be found on some S2 seeds, but they're very good on magical defense, which is actually going to be quite useful up against that Wyvern spot now. And same with them Rune Rings.
Yeah, Rune Rings are very expensive. I know that there's a big price rebalancing in the game, and that's what Rune Rings are expensive, because they make your magic casters much stronger. Natara is trying to kill the Dark Knight here, which is theoretically faster if you can do it quickly, because you don't get the Justice Speech at the end. But usually, with the fact that we're playing with standard boss settings, that fight ends just like the fight in the vanilla game, which is you let Cecil hit you 3 times. He pontificates about justice for a minute and then walks away.
The sort of caveat to that is any items or skills won't actually trigger his additional his reset, so you can use some stuff like the power or the Stardust Rod to actually do the damage while he's doing in his own thing as well, so and still get the Justice Speech. So she might have been looking at that and just didn't realize it would just continue normally. I don't know what she did with Yang at the start.
Alright, Simbu is trying to get off the second Ice 2 that would have needed to kill off Rubicon, but goes ahead, digs out an Ice Claw from his inventory, punches Rubicon, is going to add on Rosa. and gets the magma key to go with the legend sword. So grind location open. We know we've got sirens on the overworld, so may go down and kill some dragons now.
Yeah, that's a very good way of building up your power and getting yourself ready. This team is not bad to finish this. You sort of just need the levels on Parlam. Rosa's a little bit more disputable here. Sorry, Rydia's a little bit more disputable because you do need level 55 under these flag settings to get Nuke, which is the most powerful black magic spell in the game.
Yeah, I mean, basically with Rosa, though, I think you're relying on the core 3 of Yang, Palom, Rosa to get you through it. Just, gives you a little bit of mixed damage. You can level Palom up pretty quickly to get Nuke, all things considered, and then just go over and nuke the carp out of whatever's up there. Excepting, of course, that you just want Quake for the Wyvern, because Wyvern's going to wall, but that'll be interesting.
That is true, yeah. Wyvern's wall is going to be a very big detriment to Nuke. But you could, if you've got, say, a Star Veil, you could always Star Veil one of your own characters and just nuke it back, reflect it back at him.
Yep, and it would make healing hard, but we also know that there's Cure 3s out here and Cure 2s out here in the world, so shouldn't be too big of a deal, honestly. Alright, Nitara is going up to the moon next, to go grab Kane, likely, because did not go to the giant, went all the way to the moon. Sonirath's going to take, I believe, his 3rd crack at the Rubicon spot here for the Magma Key.
This is a very solid party, though. Rydia, Parlam, Yang, Kane, and Rosa. This is a party I would gladly take almost anywhere.
Absolutely. Star Veils are up on the moon, too, so that'll be handy to have. You might want to pick up a couple here.
I'm not sure they're going to do a whole lot more bosses. It's once they've got Rosa and found that Magma Key, it's mostly going to be grind and go after that.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense at that point.
But there is also the option of actually doing your grind on the moon, and with the King Ryus, which might be a little bit quicker than going below.
If we wanted to do King Ryus, I think that there's a lot of different talk about grind spots, and we can get into a lot of the theory behind it. King Ryus are fastest when you have weak. You need hourglasses for sure, and the dragons have about roughly 9,000 hit points, with which you do need to burn through. And with this party, we can't burn through 9,000 hit points very quickly just yet. So we want to be really kind of careful about that.
That is very true. But it is a possible thing that some of our runners may be thinking of maybe later if they find that source of weak.
True. Simbu is going to be our 3rd runner to go ahead and pick up Kane here. He's going to add Kane to the team. Sonny is going in again to basically the Rubicon spot.
Chocosaur, I've just noticed something in Chocosaur's inventory, which is Artemis arrows. And he's just picked up a samurai bow, so a berserk archer with both of those should make short work of Wyvern.
We shall see if Chokasura is going to gamble it, or is going to try and grind a little bit first. The big thing is that only Simbu has the Magma Key right now, so, Simbu, the world is open, has access to those underground grind spots. And since our runners are going to want Rosa, everybody should get that eventually, but it's a tough sell to maybe stay up here for now, too, while Chokasura is going to keep looting and scooting here, it looks like. And he's going to find those sirens in Silvertown for his troubles.
Yeah. It does look like Sawny's got through this fight now, for the most part. Vampires, just to keep range, as he's called, which is another one of our little additions to the game. You can change names or make them silly. And got through straight quite well. Yeah, those vampires helped quite a bit just to keep his hit point totals up.
Yeah, and Yang hits a lot harder with a vampire than with his fists early in the game. So it looks like Simbu's your 2nd runner to find the Jerk Dragon in just a moment here.
Yeah. Be interested to see where Sawney goes next. Is he going to go to the moon to pick up the character? Is he going to go straight underground to do some grind?
Oh, and there's the answer for you. There's Agark Town where you drop off the Magma Key. Sawney's going to go grind most likely here. Hourglasses help a ton with that, because with the gold dragon, or the yellow dragons, they can pop out of the egg if you don't hit them hard enough, but if you stop them, or in this case, sell the crystal sword, which I was really hoping for, to buy coffins instead. No, go buy coffins, Sonny. That's why you sold the crystal sword. I know this.
Chocosaur has been definitely on the sort of shopping percent at the moment, just going around finding pretty much a lot of stuff that he might use up down below or in the fight against Wyvern. So it's interesting to see where he goes from there. And then he's just bought 10 coffins, so it looks like he's going to be heading down soon as well.
DM Stewart asking, is there a situation where you choose to turn random encounters on, Quadrack? What do you think?
I would say yes. There are the cases where you don't have a viable means of grind. You don't have the sirens. In the case of the D machine grind, you will need to turn your encounters on, otherwise you will never find them. And there are some occasions on the moon, if you want to do your grind up there, where you will want to turn them on and just, while you're walking onto a place, collect your encounters on the way.
Alright, so Natara is on Rubicant again. Soni's underground doing some checks. Simbu has started shooting at the dragon for 2,300 damage and decides that does not have the number of arrows necessary or the time necessary to work the Wyvern right now.
So, likely going straight underground, going to get a few levels. Now that he's seen that boss, he knows what he's dealing with. I don't expect it to be too much longer before he says, yep, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you can see Sonic using the coffin on the egg there and is getting 11 levels on everybody to start, so very quickly getting up a bunch of those early levels that you need to kind of get through.
Where's Chocosaur going?
Chokosura is likely to be grinding here, I think. There's a couple different places you can siren for not just gold dragons, but you can siren on the first floor for warlocks and carries, for example.
If he's going for the gold dragons, the King Ryu's, wouldn't it be easier for Bahamut Cave on the third floor, though?
Yeah, even the third floor here, right in front of the Pale Dim Altar, is a faster way to get there as well. So there's 3 different places that you can actually pull it up. Simbu immediately sells the Crystal Sword for coffins as well, so I think Simbu's got a plan right now that involves honking for eggs. Yeah,
scramble some eggs, get a whole lot of levels, and then move on from that. And Natara's just picked up her White Mage, and she's probably happy about that.
Yeah, and also probably very happy with that Magma Key. She's got the full party. Options abound for grinding. It looks like Chokosura is coffining Trickers down here. That's a 21,000 experience points, which is maybe not as worth it, but maybe he's going to transition from Trickers to Gold Dragons when the opportunity arises.
Yeah, he's actually using a siren for that as well, so yeah, a bit of an interesting way to grind. Yeah. Triggers, it uses Peep straight away and tells you that it's weak to Thunder. Do not use Thunder, really. It will then start going wild, I do believe.
I mean, use Thunder, see it once. I promise you it is glorious. Don't do it twice.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, unless you like getting blasted with as much Lightning 3 as your team can handle.
Because they are very fast, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, once they turn over, they are one of the fastest enemies in the game, in fact.
It's not often you see them in these seats. It's especially as a sort of grind. And so Chocosaur is busting out a bit of an interesting strat for us.
Yeah. It's a very, very different strategy from everybody else who's, once now that the other 3 have their Magma Key, they're all like, we're good, we're going under, let's do this.
Yeah.
This also means Chokosura passed up Iridia in the Baron Inn, or excuse me, Rose in the Baron Inn, and does not have the White Mage that everybody else has for that consistency. That
might be why he's chosen to do this instead of go underground then. And
Yeah.
I didn't notice he hadn't picked up Rosa.
Yeah, one very
Which
interesting
even
thing. Sorry.
it's very obvious when you actually look at his screen, but yeah, didn't see it.
Yeah, no key items, didn't need anything, is just going to try and finish as fast as possible and may end up paying the price for it. On the flip side of the coin, very interestingly enough, look at Simbu's party. Simbu's not leveling Rydia right now.
Looks like he's going to try and use her as an anchor. Using that as an anchor is to, I believe, reduce the speed of Wyvern when it goes to face it. I'm not too sure how quick that spot is, but I think it's one of the quickest in the game, so it's going to be quite useful.
Yeah, the other thing that could possibly be happening here is that Simbu knows that Rydia is not really going to be great for spells, all things considered, but you can slingshot her. One of the things with experience gain in this game is that when you have a character who is at least 10 levels behind your party median, what will happen is that you'll get bonus experience based on how far off of the party's average you are. It's sometimes double, and if it's over 10 levels, it ends up being triple experience, which you can use to catch Rydia up in a hurry. Does not look like that's the case. It looks like Simbu is good and done here. Sonny also looks like he is good and done grinding, and so he is going to go ahead and find find a friend here in the Giant.
Yeah, I don't believe he has seen who it is yet, and he's going to look at it and go, what have I got myself into? And then promptly try to slay the beast.
I mean, Yang's got 3,000 hit points. Like
3,000, it seems a lot, but I believe this Wyvern is... I believe it's going to do a fair amount, something like 2,000 per nuke.
Yeah, I mean, this bot does not have very high magic attack power because of the elements. They all spam magic, so there's no need for it to be super high damage. But we shall see what's about to happen here.
Yeah, it's just that nuke has a very high magic power modifier. I do believe it is a little bit neutered on Wyvern, though, because it is... They're only spell, and it's very hard to dodge it when it's bounced off of itself.
Yeah, so we're going to end up seeing what Sonny's going to be taking on here. Doesn't even pop a cabin because he knows he doesn't need to. Get a free heal before the first fight. So, it just looks like it's going to be a wild choice of finish here. As Sonny's there, Simbu's going in, Chokasura's going up, Utara's going to grab a few more levels right now. Yang is very level dependent, and so more can't hurt.
So let's see how using the power on Yang to hopefully boost the amount of damage they do.
And we'll get our first look at how much damage Nuke's going to do. It's about 800 damage, so...
That's workable, especially with Rosa able to use Cure 4.
I think the problem is that Wyvern's fast enough to get off 2 nukes before Rosa gets a turn, and Yang has no magic defense to speak of, and is taking about half his health and damage here. So this is a much more dangerous push for Sonny with the only 3 characters, whereas with 5 characters, it's much less likely that you get Rosa ruined by. Oh my god, ow! Never mind.
That hurt.
That's a different tale for a different time. That's 1,800 damage to Rosa, and she is history.
I'm a little surprised that it did that much. Did he not pick up any defensive items such as that? We've seen the tiara, we've seen the rune ring. Those would be wonderful additions for her arsenal right now.
They were probably the tiara, yes, but probably the rune ring might be on Palom instead for damage purposes. But yeah, that's a scary amount of output here.
And just going straight back into it.
I don't know if that's going to be doable here, but we'll see. We've got Simbu warming up on the Wyvern now as well. Chokasura is going to grab the Magma Key, probably very unhappily at this point.
And he's actually berserked Palom, who looks like got the Samurai Artemis to boost the amount of damage they're doing, and has put Rydia in the middle slot, so is trying to nerf the Wyvern's speed in this area.
Yep. Using Kane as a chemist, going to berserk up Yang as well here. Yang's going to hit for about 700, but that's still okay. But those Artemis arrows are going to do some work.
Yeah. So basically, Rosa, Rydia, and Kane are all going to be on life duty. Will heal up Young or Harlem possibly, but is more likely to just constantly do the lives. The one issue I see here is if Harlem uses up all the arrows and then goes down, he's going to have a little bit of a harder time to do the damage.
Yeah, I mean, then you probably swap over to trying to cast... I mean, if you got 23, you can swap over to casting Quake to try and get the finish here. The thing with the Berserking is that since you're not actually inputting an attack, Callum will never run out of arrows until the end of the battle. Unless you have to input another command with him.
So he's going to remain on one arrow until either he goes down or this battle ends. Hopefully, for Simbu's sake, the battle ends first.
Yeah, hopefully the battle ends by Wyvern dying. I'm doing about 5,000 damage at the top end with those arrows, but lower rolls are in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, which is still plenty.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna keep Yang healed up here. Yeah, Sonny having a very hard time with the 3 characters and the higher speed of leveled Palom in the middle is not making this work out so well.
Yeah, he's probably still the best bet of the 3 characters there, with though, because Rosa's fairly quick naturally, and Yang isn't the quickest in terms because he's got a massive attack power, but he's still fairly quick himself.
Yeah, Sonny's got to have a different game plan here because this is not working. But speaking of working, Quake Kid has popped the Wyvern full of arrows here. A bunch of pinpricks for 5,000 damage is going to be more than enough. Down goes the Wyvern for one of our runners. Yeah.
So Simbu is going to go and see who our boss at the CPU spot is. It can't be worse than this, can it?
I mean, first you gotta go take a safety save. Second, I mean, if you're rooting for bad, it could be darn near anybody out there still, except for Rubicant or, one freebie from the King and Queen that we know about. And a couple other bosses that we've seen, but if I were rooting for anything right now, it would be Ogopogo, because I'm a terrible human being.
Yeah, that works. I can think of a couple of others. Kenyatsu is a fairly bad one at the end here. Also, Evil Wall.
Yeah, Evil Wall would be brutal with those melee attacks, and the speed here is okay, but not great. But as you can tell, we get the fanfare. It's the final fight. Let's see what we got. Vanilla CPU would be terrible too, SVB.
Unfortunately, it can't be Painman. He was at for Ball, so unfortunate there.
And our runners would be very happy to have Kane in the party if they have him, because it's Pain Woman. It's Valvalis.
Yeah. So it's not terrible, but it still could be bad with her punches.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go in with and plus whenever she's in the tornado form in this spot, your spells are just not going to hit. So this is not going to be a very pleasant experience potentially.
Yeah, plus her defense goes sky high, as just shown by Yang hitting for 164. Oh, that one's a bit better with 600, but it's still got to eat through. I think it's 30,000 hit points here.
Yeah, Rosa in the front row just got elbowed for a meager 2,756 damage. Sonny's looking for more levels with Kane, so it looks like it's going to be time to siren up some gold dragons here. Oh my.
Finally, Kane goes up in the air, so it's going to pull Valvalis out, but that does introduce a counter, which was luckily onto Yang, who can actually take them, although Kane definitely can't.
Yeah, Lightning 3 is going to hit fairly hard here. 4,800 damage is pretty good. It's going to take about 7 of those to get us through this, 6 to 7. It might be protect Berserk Yang at all costs and just take him through this fight very, very slowly at this point.
Yeah. And not sure if he has any heals to get rid of the petrification on Parlum.
Rosa should have levels enough to cast the heal spell. Yang is going to flip over to the front row now. They're going to change. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care about Rydia or Wait Kid here. And now the punch is going to hit a lot harder.
Yeah, that does put Yang in a little bit of more of a vulnerable position, though, with his low defense.
Yeah, looks like there's the blink spell, so going to get that going. While, of course, on the second screen, we get Chokasura here on the dragon with a fully powered party here. It's going to put a Moonveil up on Kain and start reflecting lots and lots of damage. It looks like Rosa's got the bow and arrow combo, so she's going to drink the wine. Hopefully not get nuked to death here.
That first reflected nuke by Wyvern is nice to see going on to Yang. And just looks like it's going to be reflecting virus from Rydia, and Palam's going to be going with the nukes, although Rosa just took a beating.
Yeah, down goes Rosa, not in good shape here. I'm going to just try and keep the party going here. Natara is diving down for the first time, so she's going to find out that the Queen of all Dragons waits for her down here and is going to give her problems all day. Yang goes down for Chokasura, but the reflected viruses continue to flow.
Technically, Chokasura could win by a HP running out thing with a situation here with the virus. It's unlikely, but it is possible.
Alright, Simbu's going to throw up a Moonveil on Kain here for additional safety. Safety's good here, I think. I'm into that call, honestly. And it's just going to try and keep the party alive and going here. Yang just slowly nipping down at the at the Queen there. So Valvalis is standing tall, though.
Yeah, Blink is definitely the MVP of this fight. It has stopped pretty much all the damage that Valvalis can do. Weak is very, very... It's a good spell, but it still it doesn't help if the characters are blinked and she can't get her punches in.
Yeah, if you can't get hit, you're not going to die, which is great. There we go.
Very, very quick time. Official time of 31 minutes and 58 seconds. GG to Simbu.
Yeah, GG. Very, very impressive showing there of skill in regards to kind of handling a seed like this. Some hiccups there, certainly, and Wyvern was a tester, but was able to kind of outlast Valvalis there, which is pretty excellent for the first place finish tonight.
Yeah, you would not like to come up against those two bosses at the end of one of these seeds at all, almost ever. And here is the man himself. GG, Simbu.
Thank you.
How were you feeling after that?
My heart is still pumping.
Yeah, I'm looking at your comment in the SRL chat as the adrenaline, which just means, I don't know, you might have been just sweating it real hard there. What was your strategy for taking down Wyvern once you knew that she was there waiting for you to give you trouble?
Well, I found the Artemis arrows and I found a samurai bow, so I was like, I originally planned to use that to grind on the moon, but I went up to check who the boss was and saw Wyvern, and I was really scared, but then it cast wall, and I was like, oh, this isn't as scary as it looks. So I just knew that I needed an agility anchor because that spot is extremely fast. But as long as I kept Rydia level 1 and luckily found Coffin, so it was a super easy grind in the underground, just Zerk someone. In this case, I decided on Palam since he was pretty well situated for everything, and the seed took care of itself.
It definitely seemed like you had a plan. We noticed you had Rydia down during your grind, and we suspected that was the case, but there's always the slingshot possibility that you might have been thinking of. But definitely he's slowing down Wyvern there definitely helped. And Valvalis afterwards, you wouldn't really want to see that combination at the end of a giant seed, would you?
Valvalis was a little bit nasty. Yeah, that's probably two of the... I don't know, Kainazo would have probably been even worse, but there's a few really, really scary bosses, and both of those aren't 100% cheesable. Luckily, I still decided to keep Rydia down, so didn't have to worry about agility. And the good thing about Valvalis is she doesn't attack too often. And honestly, I could have put a Moonveil up on Yang and then Bacchus, and it would have eventually finished. But I went a little bit quicker than that by doing some jumping and trying to get blinks up and everything, which was a very intense battle.
There is also the petrification that you would have had to worry about, but yeah.
The Moonveil would have taken care of it for quite a while.
Okay.
Speaking of intense fights, we do have all three of the other runners on Wyvern right now. Jogasur and Natara have been at it for a little bit here. Just trying to keep Yang alive for the damage and keep Palin alive for Quakes, while Sonny is going to bounce a slow on the Wyvern to buy some time here.
Not a bad idea. And we're not... with that Starveil, did he get Palin up to nuke? No, still with the Quakes.
Yeah.
Nice. Sonny was in a Wyvern fight with you, Simbu, but didn't have the levels that you did have, and only had 3 characters, so was at a distinct disadvantage. So had to bail out.
Yeah, I definitely knew that as soon as I saw Rosa and in the inn, it was like, okay, I definitely want to come back here. And I knew I had a character on the moon, so it was, I need to get just enough equipment to get by, and just enough, and go pick up all the characters I can. Then I want to see who the boss is, but then I wanted some sort of grinding opportunity. And I kept those things in mind because first, we already saw a couple of our free bosses. King and Queen were in the inn, so there was no possibility of it being that easy. Water Hag could have been there, but I decided to take a little bit of a risk and postpone it because outside of Water Hag, I think everything else is definitely not doable with who we had and everything.
Yeah, they all tend to have some sort of either high physical damage attack or beyond that. So
I was hoping for an adamant armor or something to maybe do some cheese, and I was really happy when I found the Moonveil because that's also a very good cheese item. Unfortunately, the bosses that we found were, for most purposes, cheese-proof. You had to do something, so...
Just as a quick update on the race, by the way, Jogasur has taken a wipe, ended up getting slowly worn down by the nukes. Natara, same boat, worn out and taken down. Was down to just Rosa for a little bit there, and didn't have a way to bring it back, so she went down. Sonny's on the fight right now, trying to keep everybody alive. Looks like his primary source of offense is going to be Grimoires. Not so lucky this time, but just trying to get through this with whatever he's got on hand.
Sometimes you just need to have a chocobo go up and kick Wyvern. That's nothing special.
Yeah. And we've got DM Stewart asking about anchors. We could get into relative agility really, really deeply, or we could keep it really simple in that everything in the game is relative to your center character, or in some cases Cecil, if Cecil's in your party and one flag isn't set. So what ends up happening is that with a very slow character in the middle, everybody else on your team is going relatively faster, so gets more action, which can be really handy in a situation like this.
I think the biggest thing to point out is, as far as relative agility goes, there is a maximum, and you can force all your other characters to that maximum along with a boss. So even though the boss is 5 times faster than you, at least in my case, he was at least 5 times faster than me, I was able to go as fast as him, and that's very important when you're dealing with something 5 times faster than you.
Yeah, getting more actions is better than getting fewer actions, certainly. In SRL chat, we do want to note that we do have a second place finisher, Error, who I think is newer to the community, has finished up in 39 minutes and 34 seconds here.
He is new to the community, but he isn't new to racing, and he, ever since he's joined the SRL free enterprise races, he has been consistently up in the top half of the thing. So he is very definitely a very good racer, and he did win the previous community race as well.
Nice. Natara went and found the last darn chest down here, I believe, or has been looting here. Found the last darn chest, but also been looting out the giant, and found Bahamut in one of the chests in the giant.
That's definitely a opportunity for damage for Rydia.
There's a neat trick you can do with that if you've got Bahamut, because Wyvern counters with Mega Nuke when you use a summon on her. But if you've got walls up on everybody, guess what will happen to that Mega Nuke?
Say goodbye to Wyvern, because everything gets reflected back.
Yeah. So Rydia will do a ton of damage, and then the reflected Mega Nuke will do about 9,999 damage, roughly, give or take 0.
But this Wyvern has definitely been a wall for a lot of people. But we do have Hippos with a third place finish in 41:29.
Yeah, I think our SRL chat's about 30 seconds faster than the stream right now, so we should probably
Fair enough.
maybe we should wait a second on those now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Alright, Simbu, it looks like everybody else has decided that they need to go either find characters or levels or something here, so do you have any last thoughts before we let you go?
No, I think I pretty much covered it. I'm happy to take first place wherever I can get it. Quake Kid coming through. That's what I should say. Quake Kid coming through for the Mighty Quacks.
You're just making Demarine sad with that.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'm hurting just a little bit right now, but thank you.
Well, it's been fun, guys. Have fun with the rest of the race, and hopefully we get some nice action out of the rest of the runners.
Absolutely.
So Natara has abandoned the giant and gone back to Dwarf Castle and has found Plague. Not sure what she's going with here.
Looks like she's looking to improve her party position, potentially find a different character here. Chogasaurus found those Artemis arrows, has them strapped to Rosa right now, so she is firing away. And Yang's additional levels means he's hitting a little bit harder. He's hitting for around 1,500. So as long as Yang and Rosa are alive, this will probably go okay. Having 3
Rosa is in that area where one nuke is going to down her, and then he's going to have to play catch up.
Yeah, Sonny's going to set the slow up here first, start things up, and it's going to try and get things going with this party in regards to damage. Going to probably Zerk up Yang and then get going.
Chogasaur, though, is through.
Yeah.
So, Wyvern down, off to Valvalis, although he doesn't exactly know that yet. And
nope.
Edge at Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, even with Bahamut, knows about the Mega Nuke counter and decides to get rid of Rydia instead. Odin in the second spot. Sonny's just getting dumpstered by the Wyvern again. This boss spot's really hard if you're not using everything you've got, and Artemis arrows are a big part of the win for a lot of people here.
But if I might be incorrect here, but Artemis arrows in the S3 flag are available to buy, and we've seen a samurai bow, so he could go out and just buy a whole load of both if he's got the funds for it.
Yeah, 10 were in a chest someplace, and that's what everybody's been using. I think it was in Baron, potentially. So everybody has had 10 arrows to burn, basically, and they've all been... And the lead runners have definitely probably burnt them up to get the kills pretty quickly here. Alright, and here's our second look at Valvalis.
And he's probably looking at it and going, "Thank you, Kane, for being here." Rydia does have Ice Free, so going to have 2 fairly high hitting in spells for Valvalis here.
Yeah, and so gonna Zerk up Rosa here. Gonna go with some mixed archer strats with the Ice 3 to get through the hit points here. So we're gonna see this fight probably go blisteringly quickly right now with the level 3 magic.
Yeah, 4,000 and with nice 3, and I believe she's weak to lightning more, so Parliament is going to do better.
Yeah, she's also weak to Holy Elemental, interestingly enough.
That one I didn't know. I knew about the Thunder, but I wasn't too sure about the Holy.
Yeah. Yeah, Simbu is letting us know Lid is probably only in the Elements quad fight, which would make a lot of sense. There is the Queen uncloaking and doing a massive amount of damage to Kayn there.
It would make sense for the Elements quad fight because that sort of half, it does include Kenyatso, so yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense, the Kenyatso weakness. Yeah, everyone's on that one right there, which is real interesting here.
And Natalla's doing something I asked for earlier. I asked for, if they find the package, to actually go and open it. Because of this. The sprite?
It's Endgame Kayn burning the place down? Isn't he supposed to be all contrite and stuff?
We don't reach the endgame in this, so it's fine.
Oh man, that is the Kayn sprite from the finish of the game. What a good sprite.
Yeah. So that is the dash her flag. That is what it does in practice in the game. It doesn't do anything to the game, it just changes that particular sprite. Alright,
Chokasur is getting whittled down here by Valvalis, hoping to just keep these two mages and Kayn alive enough to get through this fight. It's was not smooth sailing, but it was enough sailing there. Chokasur is our number 5 finisher at 46.15, while we were waiting. PMA K-Foul finished in 4th place at 45.28.
Sawney's still using those grimoires. Miss Dragon isn't too bad when it was used by Kayn there because of the amount of hit points they had. So.
Yeah, but if you're fishing for Bahamut and getting not that, it could be a little tough.
Yeah, definitely. We have also had our Dragus finish with 46.59, so he's our 6th place finisher.
Yeah, which is pretty solid. Sonny is still hammering away here, gets Odin from the Grimoire, which does a whole lot of 0. Nataru now has Edge and is going to go ahead and get Edge girded for battle here, it looks like. And it's going to take that extra DPS up.
Yeah, got a few decent weapons. The Full Moon, Middle, Ninja Hat and a Strength Ring. Definitely helpful items and could make a difference in that Wyvern fight. Speaking about that, Chekosora, welcome back into the channel. And GG, how did you find them 2 last fights?
I was nervous. You know, when I first... I imagine I wasn't the only person that did this, but I went straight to the giant to check who that boss was. As soon as I saw Wyvern, my heart just sank. I knew I was going to be in for a rough time.
Yeah, definitely not easy. But what did you think about the Darkness Crystal start, really? You got given it and you thought, what do I do now? I'm sure.
Pretty much, yeah. On V2 seeds, I kind of don't like Darkness starts because of that, but, you know.
Yeah, you did find a lot of items to start off with, and as you said, you did go and peek that boss early, so you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
So did that affect your thinking in any way? Did you know who you wanted and what you wanted?
To be honest, I wasn't really concerned about characters. I saw Rosa at Baron Inn, and to be honest, I probably should have did that fight a lot earlier since Magma Key was there, which kind of, you know, made me salty a little bit because I went all the way to the moon with 15 sirens, 15 coffins, and grinded triggers for a little bit for EXP.
Yeah, we saw that, and we were thinking this isn't your standard grind.
I do turn to it occasionally. I mean, depending on the flag set and the seed. A seed like this, for example, where I have Darkness start, and I don't feel like going to get any other key items. You know, I want some quick experience. I don't have underground access, so you know, that's pretty much the best place to do it really early on if you don't have, you know, like weak for Deep Machine grind or anything like that.
Yeah, we were potentially expecting you to transition into doing gold dragons, but that was clearly not the case there for you. So you ended up going back down with the extra levels and starting to clean out the world.
I didn't have hourglasses for gold dragons. Plus, I found those 10 Artemis arrows, and I kind of wanted to save those for Wyvern, so I didn't want to use those against gold dragons. Which Wyvern was that first fight against Wyvern. He was really mean to Rosa. I was trying to get some damage in with her, but I think what I should have done was put the Artemis arrows and the samurai bow on Rydia instead, and just have Rosa try to, heal or something. But...
yeah, it ended up being that Simbu had a full party of 5 and kept the Artemis arrows and samurai bow on Palom, interestingly enough.
Ah, okay.
So giving up the power of the extra quake damage to make sure that there was a healer that had good speed to keep the party alive as long as possible. And of course, the interesting thing is Simbu did get a little bit lucky in that never got nuked. Never actually took a nuke on directly on the Quake Kid. So can't go wrong with that, I guess.
Really? Wow. That is some luck right there.
Yeah, sometimes luck does play a part, especially in a fight which is as difficult as that one. You can't say it's anything else. It's just pure difficulty.
Definitely. I can agree with that. And I think another mistake I made was not reflecting slows on him, which I really should have done. Because toward the end, it seemed like he was just getting faster. He was bringing out nukes faster.
Well, the thing is that when you're raising party members, the big thing with speed is that when you're raising party members, even though we know that the ATB in Final Fantasy IV is a little bit sketchy at points, you're basically starting from 0 when you're raising a dead character. So yes, it's going to be double nukes and triple nukes for a little bit when your party members start dying instead. It tends to be a bit of a trouble spot for a lot of people, because you can fall behind and stay behind, which is not where you want to be, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that ATB can be really weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So we do have a 7th place finisher while we've been chatting here. We have Kinda Nerdy Housewife hitting the line in 7th at 51 minutes and 24 seconds.
She's definitely going to be very happy about that time. So GG to her.
Yeah.
And Sawny's taken another sort of wipe.
I'm curious, what was Simbu's final party?
The final party was Palom, Rydia. Rydia was still on level 1. Young, Kane, and Rosa.
Oh, pretty much who I had, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Ended up killing off Rydia on the first egg fight to keep her at level 1 permanently, and then used her as the agility anchor in the mid spot.
See, I need to do that more often. I don't know why I like leveling up my video. I don't know.
Under these flag sets as well, it's a little bit more difficult to use her because of the spell flag, because level 55 is a very long way to go to get nuke, which is the spell you want.
That is true.
Yep. That is kind of how it goes at points.
Yeah, you're right. Alright then, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off.
Yep, GG to you, and have a good evening.
Oh, you too, thank you.
Yep, Jokasur is one of our regulars, so, I think he feels that he could have done a lot better. Speaking of which, Sonny is done banging head on wall here, it looks like, and has decided to maybe wander off for a sec. I'm not sure what's going on, but nope, going back in one more time.
Probably checking that chest just to see if it had anything that could help him. But to be honest, he's having so much difficulty, it would probably be better for him to just go down, get some more levels, maybe look for a couple more characters, and just build himself up. Palamon getting nuke would be very helpful, because he has been reflecting things.
Very true.
Sort of like what Natara's doing. She saw it. She banged her head against that wall for a bit. Decided that's enough for me. I'm gonna have trouble with this no matter what at the moment. Let's go down, build myself up a bit more. And when she goes back, she's going to have a much easier time. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, that's kind of how it goes, right? Going to try and build up some safety here. I mean, if your characters can take a 1700-point nuke, the fight's a lot easier, honestly.
Yeah, and she's almost at that point. Parlam's going to have naturally high magic defense. Same with Rosa at the higher levels. And Kane, Young, and Edge are going to have that safety buffer in HP. So Wyvern should be easier. It'll be interesting to see if Sawney does make that decision or is just going to stick with this until it all comes down right for him.
Yeah, I mean, relying on bounces and getting good breaks is not always the greatest idea.
Yeah, especially when Wyvern is getting double nukes off in between turns.
Yeah, so it's just going to start just wearing your party out in a hurry. Also only has the 4 characters, didn't get rid of off the mountain, so...
Which also naturally makes the Wyvern faster, because you've got less characters.
Yeah, less possibilities for characters to take actions.
Yeah. Because Q-jamming is a thing in this game, I do believe, which slows down the enemies. It's part of the reason why, as Simple said earlier, if you speed up everyone's getting turns at the same time, so they have to go in order.
Yeah, so speaking of which, we do have a 8th place finisher. Ruby Lancer has just crossed the line at 56 minutes and 30 seconds.
No, Nata's bouncing back into a Dwarf Castle. Probably saw something she liked in here, or selling up a few things before doing a quick shop check and jumping back up to Wyvern.
Yeah, just gonna make sure she's got everything that she could possibly need, selling everything she doesn't need, just to make sure that she's got all of the tools in the bag to take down this dragon.
Elixirs are definitely a thing that are useful.
Yeah, at 100 grand a piece, I mean, you're gonna get like 1 or 2, but, you know, even the 1 or 2 can swing a fight pretty strong way.
She's got 2 there, so more than enough really to get through that fight, or at least should be. Sony is getting through this slowly.
Yeah,
Seems to have had a bit more luck on it, maybe.
Maybe found a bit of an equilibrium here, just getting those quakes off for about 4k a piece, it looks like. It's going to take, at 4,000, it would take, what, 15 of them. So, going to burn through a lot of mana here, trying to get this fight over with.
Yeah. Young has been hitting for around 2,500, 3,000 with his powers. So, that has built up a bit of a difference as well.
Yeah, the Grimoires are helping, but they're not the greatest thing in the world here, and Palom is standing up to single nukes here, which is not the end of the world, which is great, so these Cure 4s are going to be really powerful and sticky for sure.
Yeah. I think Kane being down for part of that, so that the Cure 4s actually healed for pretty much everyone's full health, did help for quite a bit.
Absolutely did not hurt the cause. Alright, Natara's back. Natara's got a bunch of levels.
She's angry. Wyvern is in for a very bad time.
Natara's got dragon in her sights at this point, it looks like, so we'll see how this goes. Natara even paid a ninja to help the cause, so we'll see how that works out.
Looking at agility, he's probably looking for that magic 28. Not seeing anyone anywhere near it, but someone a little bit slower might assist here.
Yeah, the 28 I don't think is perfectly accurate for the spot. I haven't really done the math on it. So there's resources that we have for that, but she is gonna save. She is gonna take a second. She's going to look over all these great spell options. They're all great. She's got them all.
No, did I see nuke there, or was it missing?
There's no nuke. She's in the mid-40s right now in levels.
Ah, yeah.
Alright, Cure 4 going off. We've got Palom down for Sonny again, just whittling away here. Gonna keep cranking these Grimoires. Kane takes the nuke, but survives, but, you know.
I'm pretty sure he's not really worrying about Kane going down. It's Palom and Rosa, which are the two, and Yang, which are the main three he's more worried about.
Yep, Natara has jumped in now. Those nukes are still hitting for around 1,400. But yeah, so Edge is throwing, and we're going to see how this goes. Palom takes 2 nukes, though, and drops instantly. Sonirath gets the Blessing of Bahamut here, which is pretty great.
That won't do a counter because it's from a Grimoire, so he's got that going for him at least.
Yep. Lightsabers away for Edge, just throwing the kitchen sink right now.
I honestly do not blame her.
And with the extra level in Yang, as you can see, Yang level dependent now is hitting for 2,700, which is significantly an upgrade here.
Oh yeah, when you're a little bit low on equipment and you've got a Yang in the mid 40s, he is going to do a whole lot of damage above everyone else. We have had a ninth place finisher, Aizen Tayama, finishes in 1 hour and 54 seconds. And unfortunately, we have had a forfeit. Christopher Walken has had a little bit of trouble grinding up some levels to probably get through these fights.
Yeah, it's a little tough, but it happens.
Yeah, it's not easy. This you were given everything you wanted at the start, and then said, "Oh, you've just got these 2 bosses to get through. Good luck."
Yeah, so we've got Quakes and Zerkers for Natara. Again, all those levels, all that Edge paying off right now. As we're about to see Edge steal the show a little bit here, hitting for around 2,500. So Natara is very happy investing in the ninja here.
Sawney must be getting close to the end of this fight, right? Because
I really hope so. Sonny's been just whittling away at this point. Finds the Artemis arrows. He's going to just start throwing him with a short bow. Like, whatever it takes at this point.
This still should do around 1,000 damage. Oh, okay, that's a bit more than 1,000.
Yeah, at the expert level's 2,500 is what's happening. He ran out of mana with Rosa, it looked like, and so has had to resort to, like, whatever he can find in the kitchen cupboard at this point to get through this fight.
I'm pretty sure he's down to that kitchen sink thing, so...
There we go! Fires the kitchen sink at Wyvern.
When you've got to, you've got to. But well done for him. It took a while, but he persevered and got through it.
Yeah.
Now
he's having a much easier time with it, though, with the full party, full power party here.
Yeah. Now Sawney's going to move a little bit further forward and see Valvalis and probably go, "Why?"
Well, no, he's going to turn around first and safety save, because there is no way he's going up there without saving after that fight.
If he doesn't, he's crazy, but he's not crazy.
Yeah, as you can see, Natara's already done.
Yeah, that's the power of just those, just going away, finding finding Edge, those levels, just getting through it.
Yep. If you're newer and you don't feel super confident, go get levels.
It's slower, but it's safer.
It's slower, but it's faster at the end of the day because you don't lose all that time trying to clobber a wall with your hands.
Yeah, and who really wants to break their hands?
I'm not into that. That's not my thing.
No, neither me. Tried it once, didn't work.
Yeah, BG Rich, by the way, had finished in 10th place at 102.15, so we are 10 runners down at this point in time with the 1 forfeit. I think they're going pretty well so far. Natara's gonna go wander on up. Sonny's gonna have to deal with some dead party members here, sadly, and see if he can kind of work his way through. He's going to find that Palom can't do damage right now, which is not ideal.
I wonder if he kept some of those Moonveils now, such as like Simbu was using to just make this fight a little bit easier. With that punch, though, not so much.
Yeah, and it's going to take a reset here for Valvalis as well.
Hey.
Alright, as Natara gets the party up and running here.
I don't see this fight really worrying her. Kane is more than high enough levels to break through that tornado and survive the hits.
Yeah, it's time to...
Once she's out of that, her magic and normal defense just go down significantly.
Yeah, also in theory you can just Moonveil and not jump here and just Zerk up everybody. It is a functional choice at that point.
Yeah, but Berserking in Edge doing 2,000, Yong's probably going to do similar amounts, and just making sure she's out of tornado film as much as possible will do the trick.
Yeah, she's even taking the time to use the bluff command on Palom. It's one of the Japanese commands to increase his magic power. So when he does get the window to cast, Palom's going to hit harder and harder and harder, which is pretty great.
I believe it ups the stat by 15 each bluff, if I remember hearing that. I'm not entirely sure about that particular command.
Yeah, but whatever it does rapidly make him more powerful in terms of spellcasting, which is really important. Like, if you're going to be standing there doing nothing, why not, become more powerful? Why not hit harder?
In this sort of situation, the harder the better.
Right, just get that kill. See, there we go. That's a Quake for over 5,000 damage. That's gonna swallow Valvalis whole. She's not immune to Quake Goblin up for an Air Elemental. Official SRL time was 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 39 seconds, nicking Rumblefish at the line, who finished in 12th place with 106 and 41 seconds.
GG to both of them. And we'll likely be seeing Natara in here very soon to say, why did I roll this seed?
She could have asked me, and she didn't do it, and this is what happens. She's the admin who runs this thing.
Yeah, it's all her decision, it's all her fault. So let's all blame Supremacy and Invenerable.
I appreciate that I have not reached the point where people blame me for anything yet.
No one can blame you for anything. They blame me enough. And here is the girl herself.
Oh, yes,
Thank you very much, Natara, for showing off the package.
I promised I would do it. So I was like, well, let's see who's there anyways. And I was like, it's Porum, but nah. So I did it. I just was like, is the blonde hair Kane going to fly around too? So I just waited long enough to see that and then just went, yeah. I think at that point I had already messed up the giant once. So I was like, I'm not going to lose any more time with this. So let's do it. For the fans.
Yeah, we did notice that you had left after just a couple of attempts at Wyvern. Was it just to shore up your team, make sure you had levels and get through?
Yeah. There was no way. After I did it the first time, I was like, no, I'm vastly under-leveled. So, like, I don't have the gear to do the curing, and I don't have the party to manage without the gear. So I needed one or the other, and just thankfully, the few places I checked gave me both the party and the gear. So when I came back, it was just like, oh, hello, Wyvern. This is a much better try. So much happier with that attempt.
Yeah, the full party certainly couldn't hurt the cause any there as well, just so that everyone could take hits.
Well, exactly. Like, I had Rydia, which I was like, and she got Bahamut on the way out, but when it came down to it, I was like, edge over her for a Wyvern fight any day. And Wyvern in, like, that spot is really difficult, so I was like, whatever's after Wyvern can't be worse, and, you know, it probably could have been, but Val, while mean, was nothing with all the extra leveling I had done, so I was very ready for that.
And a Kane to make sure it just stays in the perfect position for you.
Oh, exactly. If you have enough accuracy, you can hit her anyways, but yeah, having Kane there just made it even better.
So, you're the sort of administrator and the roller of these seeds.
Damn.
How much are you sort of cursing your own seed today?
Hilariously, I was not the one who rolled this seed today. I could not remember the command to just get a random seed from the Discord, so it was our very own Nirm who rolled this one. So I was able to swear on Nirm for this. So,
okay, well, that's fair enough. We'll still blame Invincible and Supremacy, though.
Well, yeah, no, of course, that's a given. I did have to laugh a lot when it was like, okay, starting neat characters, Darkness Crystal. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yes. Chokasura went up immediately to go see if he could catch a pair of freebies and just bail out on the seed right off the bat.
And you know what? That's really not a bad call whatsoever. And I had the same kind of theory for like when I saw in the Baron Inn that Rosa was there. I was like, well, let's see if the second boss is also a freebie and I can just have Rosa right from the get-go. And I got pretty far considering. I think, I just needed an extra boss under my belt and I could have gone back and actually have gotten her. But yeah, so that early Rosa helped a lot.
Yeah, definitely the insurance that you needed with the Cure Force.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And finding those sirens and then finding the magma key shortly thereafter, I was like, well, that's easy. Like, I'm very comfortable going into the giant and doing the grind fight if necessary, but I didn't have anyone with weak. And as it was, Palom learned weak just after the Wyvern fight. So I was like, well, if I need to do a last-ditch level, at least I'm set up right here in the giant. But yeah, I just didn't have the stuff for the giant, so I did the siren grind.
Yeah.
Which worked out well for me.
So we have had a few other finishes, as we've had Dr. Kostak, who is our 13th place finisher in 1 hour and 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Jixon at 14th for 1 hour and 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Bahamut X99 in 1 hour 7 minutes and 32 seconds, so very close between those three. Okay, so yeah, people are coming through. We've only had the one forfeit, which is honestly surprising with a Wyvern at element spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And the comment they gave was about messing up the grind fight. And that grind fight is so technical and so easy to mess up. Like, one of the main speedrun tech things that I do is run buffering. And all it takes is one thought run buffer, and you've ruined your entire grind because you're like, okay, I'm just going to speed this up, and I just ran away. So it's such an easy fight to just mess up. So yeah, I can understand. I've been in that spot where it's just like, I'm not doing the grind fight again, I'm out.
You're not going to be putting on that no run from random encounters from this point forward, are you?
Of course I am. I mean...
Then we lose that fun if we see it.
Yeah. It's true, though, and it's you don't want to... Yeah, there's certain things which are fun to do in the flags. When I'm looking to create the flags that we play, a lot of it's what's fun to actually both play and watch, because there's some things that are a lot of fun to play, but aren't so fun to watch, or vice versa. They're fun to watch, but they're not as fun to play, so... we try and get that balance and test out new things so people can also try, new things as well. So.
It's a pretty difficult balance as well, though, because you don't want it to go on too long, and you don't want it to be too short either, do you?
Exactly, because yeah, if it is too short, like this one, considering how quickly we got the darkness crystal, this, still hasn't been bad, but this was a fairly quick one. Like, the first place finisher finished in 31 minutes, or 32 really, and so that leaves a lot of time, so that can be less good. But again, on the other hand, no one wants to spend 4 hours doing a seed on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, not many.
But on the contrast for this one, it was a half-hour seed for him to finish. However, it was a Wyvern and Valvalis as the two final things. That's exciting just to see them get through two very difficult bosses.
It is. It's really excellent to see those really excellent runners like Simbu and such to really just absolutely annihilate those, and then see how the rest of us figure out what we're going to do to make it work. So yeah, it is. It's a huge amount of fun, and I find any set of flags where you're getting a lot of forfeits, that's a sign where you're like, maybe I won't do that set of flags again. That was less fun. And sometimes you're like, was that the flags, or was that just the random happenstance of that particular seed? So again, a bit of a fine line there, but thankfully this one towed the line very nicely, so we'll definitely do that again.
Yeah, Sonny's having a very hard time with Valvalis with the 4 characters here. Does have illusions in Blink and maybe turning to it now, but there's the Moonveil on Kane in hopes of keeping him very permanently alive.
Yeah, Val is just such a mean boss in general, and like I felt really prepared, and she was almost one-shotting me with her hits, even when she wasn't casting weaks. So like, had I been less, like I would be having the same problem. So with a 4-person party, yeah, I can only imagine the absolute fun that Sonny is having.
Well,
yeah, he toughed it out a lot.
Yeah, he was in the a Wyvern's fight at the same time as Simbu was, and has been sort of just banging his head against this wall, trying to break through it ever since. We feel that he probably should have backed out, maybe built up a little bit more, but it's his own race. We can't tell him what to do. So he thinks he can do it, and he's going to likely get through it at some point.
Absolutely, and Sonny is a really excellent speedrunner of this game in the vanilla version. So yeah, if there's anyone who can pull a win in this situation, I'm sure he can. But I'm sure he is also not going to be happy once he is done with it.
Yeah, no, knowing Sonny, he's gonna be feeling a little bit. He's been grinding down on. It took him a while to get through Wyvern, and his parties around level 40, but they're just getting worn apart, by this fight right now. Rose is down. Yang's about to turn to a statue. Hallam is on one knee and now is dead. And so it's basically going to be relying on just Kane to get through this, it looks like.
Nice.
I'm not even going to, in fact, try to rely on Moonveil. Kane solo just decides to take the reset here.
Yeah, that definitely seems likely. Yeah, again, Val is just, there's a few bosses where no matter where they show up, you're just kind of like, whatever, no big deal. But there's certain bosses which their positioning really does affect how difficult that is going to be or not. And Val is one of those bosses where it's entirely possible she could be a joke, but usually she is not, no matter where she shows up.
Yeah, I mean, it was very exciting to see everybody having Kane for the fight, which was great, but, like, Kane alone is not enough here to kind of help push through the damages. Rosa gets weaked and elbowed, and Sonny's done. Sonny's seen enough here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have had Ica finishing in 16th place with 1 hour, 15 minutes and 4 seconds. Zez probably should have grinded more, which might be the case for a number of people, but as we said, you just can't tell people what to do because it's their own race.
Yeah, and often you just don't even really know what bosses are in which position anyways beforehand, and sometimes you don't want to overgrind just to find out the bosses are a joke, but on the other hand, you don't want to waste all the time it takes you to get into the bosses just to be like, well, I fought them 3 times and this isn't working. Let me spend another 30 minutes leveling so I can try it again. Like, that is the worst feeling, so I can definitely understand not wanting to.
Yeah, it's the great balancing act, certainly. Yeah. You gotta have enough power to kill the boss, but you also don't want to overdo it because then everyone's just gonna be faster than you, so...
Exactly. It's why I almost always over-level, because I'd rather take that little bit of extra time to level and get that time than to under-level and, have to leave the giant like I did. And again, thankfully, me leaving, it didn't take long before I got everything I was looking for, so it worked out really well, but yeah, it's not good. Oh yeah, I love early grinding. As soon as I get absolutely what I need to grind, even if I still need to run around, I just if I'm I have grinding opportunities and I have the party I want to keep, I'll just go and grind right away. I don't wait because it just speeds everything up.
Yeah, I've been finding that a lot recently as well. An early as soon as you find the party you want to go with, go and do your grind. It will make everything else after that quicker, and you'll get through it through the seed quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, bit of extra time early will really pay off later. You know, if you can get your 10 key items before you start leveling, that helps so much because you get double the experience, but having nicely leveled people when you start running through everywhere also helps a lot because just every fight is so much faster and easier, so you save a lot of time that way.
Sawney is having more than a difficulty at this time. He must be getting really frustrated right now.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but it's easy to get really frustrated when you're just kind of hammering away at something and just not getting there. So, a lot of the skill in randomizers is knowing when you're beat and going and trying to find a different way or a better way to take care of business, and that can be a skill that is hard to learn sometimes.
It is, and that's one of the things, like, I may not be down on some of the techniques, but I always know when I personally need to cut and run, and I don't just sit and grind at a fight, which, you know, maybe I could do it, but I'm like, no, it's too frustrating, and I don't enjoy that. I would rather take that time loss and go make the fight a little more enjoyable.
Yeah, something that's just come up with our second forfeit in Dark Vault. No idea what they're doing, and with a lull at the end. So he's taking it in good faith. Looks like a new person to our SRL races. So to be given this as a first go, it's a tough entrance.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there was at least one person who I may have wheedled a little into joining us this evening. That doesn't match their Discord name, but yes, we always try and get new folks in to try it out because it is more casual. But yeah, sometimes you get those mean races like we had today, and you're like, oops.
Yeah, it happens every so often. So you just have to be kind of aware of that fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sawney does. I thought that might have been a good setup. Could have possibly just gone with Kane and Rosa with the blinks and jumps.
I mean,
Not ideal, but
To answer your question, what was so mean about this seed is that it is the giant, but the two bosses at the end of the giant was Wyvern, which was mean enough, followed by Val, who Sonny is just kind of underleveled for.
Yeah, and it's just like needs that fifth character, or needs a little bit of extra power. I know I'm looking at race spoilers, and we know we saw Edge for you, Natara, but also Fusoya was out there someplace as well.
Oh, was he? Where was he?
I don't know exactly. I didn't dig into it a little bit more deeply, but Fusoya was in play as well for runners, which would probably mean either Earth Crystal or Sand Ruby, I believe.
Oh gosh, if I had found Fu in these sort of seeds is instant giant as soon as I can get that weak. If I think this is Fusoya challenge though, so you kind of have to fight bosses, but you tend to usually you do get weak earlier than you do with Palom. But yeah, Fu is nice. Hook was where? That is an excellent question because I did. Oh, Antlion. The one time I skip Antlion.
Everybody on stream skipped the Antlion cave.
And you know
completely
what?
ignored it.
Hook wouldn't have done anything for me except for and Eblin. Yes, so Fu would have been there.
Yeah, Hook would have gotten you Fusoya, and then it would have just been a matter of how do I hunt down enough bosses to get to weak and then grind that way.
Yeah, and again, if it was one of the early spells, that would have definitely been the play of the seed. But if it was one of the later spells, then I think I was probably better off doing what I did.
yeah, Fu, because of the nature of the spell and the nature of Fu, you don't really need to worry about when you get weak, just the matter of getting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of ways to solve the problem of a seed like this, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other option was, of course, Taylor if he was somewhere out there, and that would involve ordeals, but it would be a little bit quicker than the Fu route.
Yeah, Tella actually can be really excellent for that because if you get the D machine fight with the grind fight, then I believe that fire attack is percentile on your HP. So Tella, generally speaking, being useless, will still stay alive long enough to do the grind fight and, has weak. So yeah, one of the few spots where Tella is so useful.
Alright, here we go again. So we got a week on, and Rosa gets elbowed for 2400 before she can even do anything. This is not looking fantastic here.
It's just the speed that Valve now is going with this. The fact of the 4 characters is just making her go so fast right now. And her punches aren't exactly light.
Yeah, it looks like even though there is a moon veil up on Yang here, and Yang is berserk, the stone statue form is going to take over in just a moment here.
And his timer has reset, so I think we can say he's definitely forfeit from this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, this was very difficult. Not surprising to see a couple of runners tap out to that. A lot of different ways to handle it, but Sonny just had a really tough time of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Val can go die in a fire.
Oh no!
Oh.
What about Wyvern? That was fairly bad for you as well.
Wyvern
was on pace when you entered. It just didn't sit right for you. It seemed.
Wyvern wasn't that bad. I should have done more grinding for Wyvern, but Valvalis, on the other hand, I couldn't do anything. Whenever I queued up a jump with Kane, weak kill. Whenever I had Yang berserked, weak kill. Whenever I tried to do something with Rosa, weak kill. It's almost as if she just had, her AI was just constantly targeting whatever character I was trying to do stuff with. And in the end, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. I was wondering, and it's just something that came up. We were wondering why you didn't just back out, just have a look around and just build up your team and maybe find a 5th character, build up a few extra levels. What sort of pulled you away from that?
Seeing people finish in IRC.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, okay, they must have been doing this at a lower level, and I feel well overgrinded at this point. And there was apparently I didn't grind enough, or my agility was completely screwed up. I don't know, especially with Giant.
Yeah, you did go into the party with just the 4 characters. Everyone else had 5, so that naturally gives more actions, so the agility is not as effective on the enemy's side. But also, they had that 5th character extra for either chemist in, life in, or in some cases damage.
And I didn't happen to find life, so where were they?
Oh, I just closed the tracker. No, I still have that open. Haha, I found them in Mysidia.
I'm apparently blind then.
Oh no, yeah, they were in there. It's one of the reasons, though, what you're mentioning there, Sonny. It's why as soon as the race starts, I fully either minimize or cover up my my race window, so I don't see where my place is. I don't see when people start finishing, because I know personally, whenever I start seeing people finish and do things, I start to panic and my play gets terrible. So I just was like, no, you know what? I'm not going to look at the race window. I'll do what I get done, and hopefully that'll be a good place.
It wasn't even a matter of panicking, though. That's the thing. It was... These people must have been able to do it at a much lower level than I, and... I mean...
They were actually on equal level, roughly.
The fifth character makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit lower, but it was only 1 or 2 levels. It was mostly the 5th character that just gave them the edge over it.
Figures.
And they had in the case of Chokesaw and for the people on stream, Chokesaw had gone up, seen the character, seen Wyvern at the first site, went back down, went and got everything they needed from the shops because they knew who was there. And Simbu Simbu's just Simbu.
Simbu is Simbu.
Simbu's scary sometimes.
Yeah, and Natara went down, had a couple of goes at Wyvern, went down, found Edge in Dwarf Castle, grinded up a little bit more, went back up with additional items, additional gear, additional levels, and just went through Wyvern and Valvalis as you would expect in a sort of normal pace.
Yeah, it went much better because I tried to rush it, I died, and I just died at Wyvern once, and I went, nope, no way am I grinding this. So yeah, the couple of places I checked for items just happened to have all the gear I needed for my characters. I did a few more levels because I found sirens, and then I tried it again, and it went much better.
I mean, the one thing I could have used that probably would have allowed me to finish was really a ribbon, because if I had been able to get a ribbon, then I wouldn't have been affected by Ray quite as much, and I would have used the Moon Veil on Yang and been able to actually defeat Val, because power actually hits through Val's evasion for some reason. I don't quite know why.
Even with the levels, it does, because the evasion's not perfect. It's just that you need more hits to get through, so like single hitters will miss almost always, but multi-hitters will still do good damage.
Yeah.
So it still ends up being fairly consistent, maybe a little lower than you'd like, but like zerking up, like I know with Natara, zerked up Yang was hitting for like 2,500, because I think Yang was around level 50. So the levels in the zerking do help there as well.
I think we should wrap this up. Good attempt at it, Sawney, but unfortunately things just didn't fall your way this time.
Nope, not this time.
So, Zimri, I believe we should let you, as our resident sylph, end this in just the way only you can.
Well, of course, to all the fans, thank you for coming out tonight. It's always a pleasure. To our restreamed runners, thank you for taking the time to show off for the fans and, show them this beautiful game. Upcoming schedule for Free Enterprise, we do have Cataclysm's Eve coming up in a couple of days if you're in the Discord. It'll be restreamed on the Free Enterprise channel, where we're going to see some runners play the hardest of the hard, the toughest of the tough, the seeds that nobody else wants to play because, darn it, we can. And by we, I mean not me, because I don't do that kind of stuff. But I know Natara will be there. Invenerable will be on the microphone.
I meant it as well.
It will be.
I was
blast.
like, do you need help? Do you need help? And they're like, no, Natara, we don't need help. We got this. And I was like, I will enter and cry a lot. But yes, come watch us suffer.
There are going to be tears that day.
If you are going to be at AGDQ, please check us out. I know that our run is going to be Friday at around 4:30 in the afternoon, so please come out and support Free Enterprise. If you see me personally at GDQ and I have my laptop on me and you want me to show off, I will play Free Enterprise for you at GDQ.
I won't show off, but I will say hi if you come say hi. I will also be there.
So there will certainly be that. The Speed Gaming, check out thespeedgaming.org/schedule to see what's going on tonight. Link to the Past, Super Metroid Link to the Past combo. We've got Super Mario World. It's all going on tonight. Speed Gaming is packed to the rafters tonight, so if there's something that catches your fancy there, go ahead and check something out. But of course, on behalf of the Free Enterprise community, on behalf of Poydrak, I am Demerin. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, and have a lovely evening.